A man of many talents, writer, broadcaster, and a musician, Mitch Albom is also dedicated to his charitable causes. I'm Morgan LaVant with YNN News on this story about the Say Detroit Clinic.
Mitch Albom had already been working with the homeless when he was inspired to open the Say Clinic.
I read a story about how many kids in Detroit were homeless children who were missing school. And the reason that they were missing school was because when they got sick, they couldn't go to any doctors because they were homeless. And if you go to a hospital or a doctor's office and you're homeless, a lot of times they ask for your address, where you live. And when you say that you don't have an address, they will call social services. And when social services come, they can take the kids away. And so consequently, a lot of parents were afraid to bring their kids to a doctor or to a hospital because they were afraid of losing their kids. So when a kid got sick, they just stayed sick. When a kid broke his arm or whatever, they just tried to heal it, with a homemade remedy. And as a result, they were not only not getting good health care, but they were missing a lot of school too.
Mitch's charity Say Detroit started in 2006 during the Super Bowl. He had read a story about homeless people being taken off the streets to improve Detroit's image.
I wrote an article saying, if we can be nice to homeless people for the weekend of the Super Bowl, then we ought to be able to be that way all year round. And so I created this charity called SAY Detroit, which actually stands for Super All Year.
Mitch Albom says he is very proud of the clinic's success. The clinic treats about 25 to 30 people every day. The clinic has been around for more than 2 years. They go beyond regular doctor visits. They offer nutritional, yoga, and other exercise classes.
Val Gokenbach had been working with Mitch for 2 years, helping to run his orphanage in Haiti before leaving William Beaumont Hospital to work at the Say Clinic.
We walk in, but our motto is we don't save your life, we transform it. So we try to go a little bit above just taking care of just giving you pills. So if you come in with high blood pressure, we don't just give you a pill for high blood pressure and say, you're done, come back and, take the pills, which is what a lot of free clinics do. We have programs that are very holistic, that really look at what is the reason that people have high blood pressure. So we'll work with their stress level, we'll work with their diet, we'll work with exercise, we'll do all kinds of tests on them to make sure. So it's a little bit different. We've changed so many lives here. It's amazing. We do exercise classes, we do mentorship programs for women, we try to get them into different groups and different activities. We try to get them jobs. We work with the Detroit Rescue Mission to see what we can do to help people. So we impact many, many, many lives. And we also take care of a lot of kids here. And a lot of the kids that we take care of are homeless, and they live in shelters. So it's very, very difficult for a child that doesn't have a home to be able to really stay healthy. So we try to keep the kids healthy as well.
The clinic is totally dependent on private funds, and the opening of the clinic was made possible by a large donation from Cooper Standard Automotive.
About 4 years ago, I read an article about Mitch Albom, and in that article, Mitch was talking about opening a free clinic for homeless children, and we have a charity sponsorship at our company, and so I met Mitch, and I asked Mitch if it would be appropriate for us to be his charity sponsor. So we started that year to raise money for the free clinic. When I was 6 weeks old, I was given to the Salvation Army, and I grew up in a series of foster homes, 11 foster homes. So I know what being homeless is all about, and many of these children need medical care. And people say, well, why don't their mothers and fathers just take them to the emergency room? And they don't take them to the emergency room because they're afraid of losing them. Because when they go into the emergency room and the people say, where do you live? And they don't have an address and they really can't tell them where they're living. Mom's probably pretty concerned that somebody's going to call social services and they might come down and take the kids. So therefore, they don't get the medical attention that they deserve. And so therefore, knowing personally how important it is to get medical attention, and I did. I went to free clinics when I was a child, and so we knew it was important, and we just partnered with Mitch to get it open.
Mitch's inspiration to give back all started with his Tuesday morning visits with his professor, Maury Schwartz, which of course inspired the book Tuesdays with Maury.
He asked me, what are you doing for your community? And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, well, what do you do for charities or things like that? And I said, well, I write checks. If somebody asked me, I'd give some money. And he said, well, that's not enough. You have a job where you can reach people and you can talk to people and they listen to you or on the radio or newspapers, and you have an obligation to be more than just somebody who writes checks. You have to really use your voice to speak to people. And so ever since then, I kind of felt guilty about what I wasn't doing. And slowly, that year I started my first charity, and a few more started after that, and a few more after that, and a few more after that. So I would say he was the inspiration, and so was that moment.
Mitch hopes to one day be able to open a clinic for homeless men. Right now, he is focused on making the Say Detroit Clinic a success.
Mitch Albom has written several books, and his latest one, Have a Little Faith, will be made into a made-for-television movie and will be filmed right here in Detroit. I'm Kendyl LaVant for Youth Neighborhood News, where we bring you the younger side of the news.